WPI has really great CS faculty just in every class. Like even my last class was amazing. I had Professor Fabricio and he was great. But specifically two professors that really inspired me were Professor George Heinemann and Professor Carolina Ruiz. Professor Heinemann has just been amazing throughout my whole career of computer science. He has been an amazing support and he just taught me so much, and I can't wait to take that with me as I continue on in my CS career. And Professor Ruiz was another Hispanic woman, and she actually inspired me to go into computational biology, which I wasn't sure if I really wanted to take that next step in my career. But we met many times during my senior year where she was very patient and extremely caring and was just like, you can do it. And now I'm going to Harvard for grad school for computational biology.
Two of the faculty at WPI who stood out a lot to me, both from the CS department, are Professor Fabricio Marai, who teaches deep learning, CS 541. Professor Marai is just an extremely caring individual, and going to his office hours, he would take the time to actually ask me about my day and make sure things were going all right, even outside the context of just this class. In addition to that, through his teaching and his willingness to adapt the curriculum, I found that he was a very interactive professor who made sure to take the students' considerations into his decision making when he was deciding what to teach in the class. Deep learning and AI is a very rapidly evolving field, and Professor Marai's class did reflect that. I'd also like to give a shout out to Professor Paffenroth, my MQP advisor, as well as my teacher for statistical learning, MA 4635. Professor Paffenroth, who's in both the CS and math department, really showed me the way to combine my interest in computer science and mathematics in a way that would synergize the two towards a really impactful MQP. And being able to work underneath him and with his experienced guidance was something that that really made my senior year and my MQP work more impactful.
One of my favorite faculty members that I worked with was Professor Craig Shue, the department head. He's head of the Scholarship for Service program that I'm part of, and he also helped me with all of my classes. And whenever I was struggling with anything, I would go to him, and he was so receptive. Another professor I really enjoyed working with was our newest professor, one of two new professors, Professor Sherry Sun. I actually worked with her as a student assistant for 2 terms in her networks class, and it was just really great to hear how receptive she was to my feedback and suggestions, and also students' feedback and suggestions. She was able to modify parts of the course to better suit the students and what they were interested in, and I really appreciated that.
Someone who I really connected with was Professor Heinemann. Professor Heinemann is a great professor. I had him for software engineering, and then I helped essay for him for software engineering for 1 term. He's just a really nice professor, and I think he teaches the course really well. He's a very nice professor, and he really cares about the students' understanding, and he really tries to teach them skills which will be valuable, like, beyond their career. Because it is only a 7-week course, there's only so much you can do. But in that time, he really tries to optimize, like, the stuff that will be useful, which I think is really cool.
So one faculty member that really stood out to me during my experience is Professor Robert Walls. I was really curious about cybersecurity freshman year, but there weren't many classes that fit my skill level. So I reached out to him, and he was able to get me an ISP for that year with him, working on different low-level cybersecurity concepts for one of his higher-level classes. And it was a really big deal to me and really helped push my career forward. So I'm really grateful for that. And I also got close to some of the philosophy professors I had when I was working on my humanities requirements. So those were pretty big faculty members in my experience here.
Mark Claypool, Professor Claypool, he's CS IMGD and he taught IMGD 3000. And that was where I got a lot of hands-on C++ experience. And by far, I think they've impacted me a lot. There's also Farley Sherry, who I feel like it would be set if I didn't mention him. He's been a great mentor, especially with advising my MQP. Farley's been definitely fantastic and been one of the biggest supporters in my corner. I think faculty here overall, they're always willing to support you. And I've had a lot of faculty who are very much like, they will reach out to students who are struggling, or they'll check in and just make sure that you're doing okay. They want to see if there's anywhere they can help. And then I think the biggest thing is sometimes students are scared to reach out to faculty. You shouldn't. I think that in my time reaching out to the faculty where I was struggling in classes, they've been the most impactful.